So here it is, friend mail from Jamie, aka the Bag Lady. And again, I know you've heard this from me a lot here lately. I don't remember if this is something I ordered or if it is actually friend mail, but I'm going to assume on the side that it's friend mail because I would hate to miscall friend mail something I ordered. So anyway, this is from Jamie, and we're going to open it up right now outside of the box because, you know, it's small in there. It's just this bubble poly mailer. And let's see. Actually, I think I remember this one. I think, and I also don't remember if I ordered it or if she just sent it to me, but it's chain, which I'm always collecting. This is a chain belt that may not remain a belt. Let's see, here we go. Because I'm always collecting chain for my upcycle projects. So that includes chain belts and everything like it. This looks new. It's sort of lightweight, but will be a great material. Just a lightweight metal. And that's going to be great material to do some crafting with. So I'm going to hopefully be able to do some crafting projects later this week that I'll be able to do as craft with me and upload them this week, I hope. So we'll see. But thank you very, very much, Jamie. This is definitely going in my collection and will possibly be used very, very soon. And if you don't already know Jamie, I'll put a link to her channel in the description of this video, and you should definitely go check that out check her channel out because she is a great lady. She has a heart of gold, and she's beautiful inside and out, and I'm very, very privileged to call her one of my friends. So please go check her channel out if you haven't already. And with that, we are going to move over now into this week's video. This week's things that I'm offering up for sale. There's going to be some craft with me, some handmade, and or I guess I should call it maybe spontaneous crafting, but if you know ahead of time, is it really spontaneous? So some of the things I'm going to show you I made myself over the Christmas break, and then some are just items that I have gotten in lots. So let's jump right in with item number one. First up is this necklace, which is, I think, maybe a polymer clay or a resin. These tiny little beads and just a screw barrel type closure that works great. And then they have this little floral design, sort of like a little tribal look to it. It's a shorter length. It's longer than choker. It's definitely not a choker. Maybe about an 8-inch drop or so. It's a 9-inch drop. And the design is this bright blue and bright pink with the different sizes and shapes of the little black beads. And that's our first item. And this little cutie is number one. And we'll just do that one for $3. My smaller bags I ran out of, so I don't have them right now. So these larger bags is what everything will go in. And I have to be careful because they don't have the little white area that you can write on, and the ink tends to rub off of just the regular bag. Okay, number two. This I got from, I may have shown this already. I don't remember. But I got this chain from Amy at Ultrasound Wanderer back before the holidays. And the bag's not marked, so maybe I haven't shown it. And it was broken. So I fixed it and added a pendant, which used to be an earring. I made it by bending the post around and then reinforcing the post right there. And so here's how it looks. It's a 3-layered necklace, gold tone, a nice heavy chain. Let's see, let me get that. It's sort of twisted around on itself. Okay, here we go. So there we are. Of course, my light box isn't big enough to show the whole thing, but here's sort of the basic idea. You might be able to hear the dog howling. There's an ambulance passing by on the highway. And there we go. Something like that is about the effect when you're wearing it. And let me give you measurements on these layers. This is a nice heavy chain. The shortest layer has a drop of 9 inches. The middle layer, 13 inches, and the longest layer, 14 inches. So, and this is the middle layer, is this really pretty chain. I've only seen chain of this particular type of link one other time, and that's on a Monet necklace that I have, which is silver tone in this same link, which is really, really pretty. And then the shortest and longest links are just these two oval link chains. And then the pendant right here hangs from the shortest layer. And this pendant is about 3 inches long. So that's really, really pretty. I really like this one. I like the weight of this one. It has a really nice weight to it. It's going to be number 2. And we're going to do that one for $6. Really nice, really heavy, just pretty and classic. And the chain itself actually looks new. I don't see any signs of wear or scratching or anything like that on it. A number 3. This was broken. This came in a lot, and I ordered so many lots right in a row, and I can't remember who this one came from. So forgive me if you're watching this and you know you sent it to me. I want to say maybe Michelle at Miss Shell's Jewelry is the one I got this from, but I'm not certain on that. But it was broken. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at now. It's missing a stone. So scratch that. If I find the stone, I'll fix that and I'll put this one up. But anyway, I'll just show it to you. It's got these rhinestones that are sort of this peachy, brownish peachy color. And then some of the stones have this black lace like overlaid on them. And that's really neat. And then it's escaping me right now. Let's see. Oh, there it is. INC. I thought it was a different brand. So this is that INC. I should think I've seen that before at Macy's, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's a Macy's brand or not. But I'm going to see if I can see if the stone for that turns up in the bottom of this bin. So let's move right along, because this one actually came in the same lot as that one did. And let me make sure all the stones are here first on this one. They are. Nice, pretty and green. And this one is Banana Republic. Right there. Gold tone with this sort of green leaf pattern. Different shades of green. Very, very pretty. And the drop on it is just under 7 inches, about 6 3/4. But then you have a 3-inch extender, which gives you about another 1.5 inches of drop. It looks new. looking all the places where it would get the most wear, and that's where it would show up first. And I'm not seeing any. So it looks new to me. But this one came broken. I think a couple of sections were missing from the middle, but they were in the bag, but they were just separated from the necklace. And so I just reattached those. And this one will be our number 3. And that one's going to be, let's see, we're going to do that one for $4. Gorgeous Banana Republic with a pretty, pretty green, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Speaking of St. Patrick's, I never can participate in this because we have a whole lot going on in our family in the month of March every year. But Lindsay Clark always puts on the St. Patrick's Day Fun Box Crawl, and where there's just unboxing one in a row, or one after another, all in a row. And the collaborators all are live in the comments, and it's a lot of fun. So I can't participate in that one, but a lot of my friends here on YouTube are participating. So mark your calendar, or go visit Lindsay Clark's channel, and she probably has already put up announcements about it, maybe. You know that they do that every year, so she will be doing that. And she may have already announced the date on her channel. But it's always in honor of St. Patrick's Day. That's what made me think of that when I mentioned St. Patrick's for that necklace. Okay, these earrings are upcycles. They came from a necklace that I got in a craft lot. And I think I got it from one of my YouTube friends, that particular craft lot. But these were alternating with some, actually these other earrings I made with these little faux tortoise. These faux tortoises were alternating with these on a necklace. So, but then the necklace was broken, and I think it had some missing rhinestones on some of the pieces. So I just took all of them off and made earrings. And here's our first pair, and I'm going to have Earlene come over to show you what they would look like on. And there they are, and I just have these dangling down from gold tone chain, hanging on gold tone hooks. And that's what they would look like on. Just simple little angle earrings. And the drop on those, or the measurement from the top of the hook to the bottom of the earring, is about 2 3/4. And they're gold tone with clear rhinestones with the upside down teardrop shape. And then this sort of modified teardrop shape overall little pendant. That's what it looks like on the back. And just dangling from, or suspended by, this gold tone chain with a ring hanging on this gold tone hook. And those are upcycles from a broken necklace, like I said. These will be number 4. And we're going to do those for $4. And then I'll just go right ahead and let the faux tortoise one come next. Same design. Well, no, not exactly same. Similar design. I sort of made this kind of chainmail look right there with rings, and hung these faux tortoise little panels from those. So that's what these look like. It's sort of hard to show these laying flat because the hook, of course, has to lay sideways, and that makes the little rings turn sideways. But it only turns sideways because, you know, laying flat, and the hook has to do that. So let's bring Earlene in to show you what it would look like when you're wearing them, because they wouldn't flip over when you're wearing them. This is what they look like on. Have your 3 little rings with the faux tortoise panel hanging down from those. And there they are. And the length on these is going to be kind of similar, maybe about 2.5 inches or so. Well, no, right at 2 inches. So there those are. And these, like the ones that came just before it, they all came from the same necklace originally. These are going to be number 5, also for $4. Okay, number 6. This is a thrift pickup from just before the holiday break. These are a matte gold tone hoop. I can't tell if they're new or not, but just looking at the backs, they look like they might be new. I don't see any wear on them at all, but they're really pretty. They're matte gold tone, and these little rhinestones arranged in the shape of flowers, and then just other little colors sprinkled throughout. Some have these little notches around the rhinestone so that it looks like little stars. And they're just really, really pretty. Just very feminine. And they have a little bit of weight. They're not super heavy, but they do have a little weight to them. And here comes Earlene to model them for you. There we go. I'm having a hard time getting the back on there because it's, you know, Earlene is not like, she's not as flexible as we are. So I'm gonna not try that after all. There won't be any problem putting the back on there when you're wearing it. It's just that she's not as flexible right here as we are. But this is what they would look like on. Very pretty, very dainty and simple and elegant. I really, really like those. That was a thrift pickup. A rare, really good price at the thrift store where I do most of my surprises at the thrift store videos. This is 1.5 inch across. And there they are. And they're just really, really gorgeous. I haven't looked up comps on this. There's not a mark on them, like not a maker's mark or anything like that. So I'll just have to kind of come up with something on my own here. Let me find a bag. We'll do these. This will be number 6, and we'll just do those for $5. They're really gorgeous. Honestly, I'll probably list these on eBay for about $12 if they don't sell here. So there we go, number 6 for $5. Okay, number 7. This is these little AB coated champagne faceted glass beads with this sort of antiqued brass colored wire in between. Sort of rosary style chain. And then these sort of milky colored flat larger beads. There's 3 in a row, and this is in 2 places on the necklace. And they have this sort of AB coating also. They're white glass, but then they have this champagne colored beige AB coating as well on those. This is a good one for layering. It's really long, so I have to measure it outside the box here. It is a 21-inch drop. And I'll just do a drive-by. And that is what she looks like. This one's great for just adding a little bit of extra sparkle. If you like sparkle but don't like a lot of sparkle, this one is a great one to add that little pop to your necklace stack. And it's going to be number 7. And that one's going to be, we're going to do that one for $3. And there we go. Okay, number 8. Let's see, is it time to do some spontaneous crafting? Okay, I had my ideas, and so I put all the pieces for these ideas into one little bag together. So let's see what we have. Okay, I'm remembering some of these now. This was a single earring that came in a craft lot. And this here looked like maybe there was a stone missing, but when I looked closer, I couldn't really see any evidence that a stone had been glued right there. So I think it's just made that way. I don't think a stone was ever there, even though you have little tiny stones right here. So I'm going to leave it like it is, but if you're interested in this one and you want a rhinestone added, let me know and I'll be glad to add a little rhinestone right there for you. So here's what we're going to do and turn this this single earring into a purse charm. And let's see, that'll be kind of simply done by taking the existing hook off. I'm leaving the ring right here intact. And then I'm going to open up the ring that's here, making sure I have this oriented the way I want it. There, I always like the lever to be oriented to the right. There we go. And I'll open that up. I haven't gotten that new tool set yet. Let's see. I think that's going to be too many rings. So I need to take one. I need to take this ring off, or it'll hang in the wrong direction. There we go. I left it on there on purpose because I thought it would help, but it's actually going to be too much to have it stay there. Let's put the key ring back on. And then the earring part right there, which now is no longer an earring, but it's a purse charm. There we go. Very pretty. There we go. Very nice and feminine with the pretty little floral display, little quilted looking background. Here's the back. And it's just got this nice sort of brass finish, and it may actually be brass. It's not very heavy weight. And brass usually is heavy, but this is not as thick as a lot of heavier brass pieces. So it could actually be brass. I'm not really sure, but I don't think, see, I'm going to give this a little wipe down too. It's got a little bit of dirt on it there. But looking at it from the sides and everything, I don't think this is going to wear like you're going to see tone loss or anything on it. I could be mistaken, but it just doesn't have that look to me. But there it is. Very pretty. And it has the little key ring on the back too. It's 4 inches long and 2 inches across. And the 4 inches long is from the top of the clasp to the bottom of the, we'll call it a pendant. And there we go. This one is number 8. And that one is going to be, let's see, we're going to do it for $6 since it was a really, really simple one. But I'll say plus a stone. We'll do it for 8 if you want me to add a rhinestone to it right there. But there we go, our first spontaneous crafting of the day. But then again, is it really spontaneous? If I knew ahead of time I was going to be crafting. Oops, I didn't close the bag all the way. So this is number 8 for $6. And then remember just to add a couple more dollars if you want me to add a stone to that. Okay, this one, let's see, we'll do this one next. This is another single earring, and it's just pretty. It has all these little festive looking glass beads just cascading down. You have purple, orange, yellow. This one's a little blue heart. So it's just really, really pretty. And it had an earring hook, which, or I'm assuming it had an earring hook at one time. It's not there now. And we're just going to add it just like that to this clasp, and then we'll have our next purse charm. It's sort of a rose gold tone that we have on this clasp. Didn't close that one very well. Let me do that outside the light box. I'm just losing my grip. It shakes the entire light box when my hands slip off and then I bump the inside of the box. Okay, there we go. That's closed a lot better. And then here is this one, just very festive and colorful and pretty. Look at that. I love that one. And this was an earring that came in a craft lot without its mate. It's almost 5 inches long. Very festive and colorful and pretty. And that one was just a quickie. So we're going to, let's see, number, what are we on? 9. And that one's going to be $6 also, just because it was a really, really simple one. There we go. And now number 10. This is a gorgeous brooch. I believe I offered it up a while back. It's a vintage brooch. You can tell because of the type of back it has on it here, but it's also a pendant. But we're about to give it even more use than that. But I love the floral design on the front of this. And look, it even used to be something else in a former life. This is glass or porcelain. And so it can be a brooch. It can be a pendant, and it's about to also be able to be a purse charm. So this is how we're going to accomplish that. Here's our purse charm clasp with a key ring. And let's see, let me make sure I get this right. We're going to, yeah, I don't know why I have that. Oh, actually, I think I might know why I have that. It's in case this ring is too thick. In case this ring right here is too thick to go through that. So let's open it up and see. And then you'll see how this is going to be a 3-in-1 pendant brooch purse charm. A very versatile piece. It's a tight fit. No, it's not going to fit at all. So that's why I got the other ring, and I almost forgot. So I'm going to use this one because it's a little narrower, and it will definitely fit this little lobster clasp right here. Just like that. Then I close the whole thing up. And this is how we do it. So we're going to take this smaller lobster clasp and open it up. Hang the pendant loop onto it. And there it is, a purse charm. So it's convertible. You have a purse charm, or you can take it off and wear it as a brooch or as a pendant. So one brooch worn 3 different ways. And then you also have key ring on the back. I'm wondering, actually debating on putting this thicker one back on to hold the key ring and take the key ring off of this and just let that be for the brooch. Maybe, should I? I think I'll do that. So let's open this one back up so we can take the key ring off of it. And then we'll close it back. And then we'll attach the key ring to the clasp with the thicker ring. There. Is that going to work? There we go. So a 3-in-1 purse charm, brooch, and a pendant. That's going to be number 10. And that one's going to be $10. I think I'm going to have to take the key ring back off and rehang it again because it's kind of going sideways. So I'm going to add another ring there so it'll hang straight. But number 10 for $10. This very versatile piece. All right, we're 1/3 of the way through. Number 11 is a piece that I crafted, and I think I recorded this video and then lost the video over the holidays. I did lose a video. I can't remember if this piece was in it. So if you're seeing it again, then and if I don't offer the same price here, as you've seen it before, just send me a screenshot of where I've offered it before at a better price, and I will honor that better price. But this is an earring, gold tone, and I think this came in a craft lot, or it did come in a craft lot from a YouTube friend. I cannot remember which friend. I think it was Michelle at Michelle's Jewelry. Oh goodness, I ordered a lot of them. It could have been from Lindsay Clark, or it could have been from Stacy. But this is a gold tone earring with red enamel on it, shaped like a bow, and reinforced the post a little bit where it attaches right there, and then bent the post around, and then hung it on this delicate little paper clip chain, gold tone paper clip chain. And this would be a nice one for Valentine's. I just think that's really pretty with the little bow on it. And that one is going to be number 11. Oh, well, hang on. I didn't give you any measurements on it. That's a drop of about 8 inches. And the bow itself is 2 inches. And there's not an extender, so the length is the length. So number 11, and we're going to do that one for $5. Yeah, I realize I've been saying that a lot lately, that this might be something I ordered. It might be something that's from that's friend mail, and I can't remember who it came from. I've been saying that a lot lately, and that's not right. I need to be able to give credit where it is due. So I'm going to start making note when I receive anything in the mail. If it's something I ordered, I'm going to write that moment. I'm going to take out my Sharpie and write down whether it was friend mail or gift, or whether it was friend mail or an order. And then I'm going to keep better track of who each piece is from and not separate it from its box until I have somehow made sure to credit whoever sent me the piece. So I won't be saying that into the future much longer, that I don't remember where something came from, or if it's friend mail or something I ordered. That was a really long rabbit trail, and hopefully you were able to follow it. But meanwhile, this is item number 11 for $5. And my purse charms are starting to fall out of their bags because I didn't close them. Okay, so that's number 11. Let's see, number 12. This brass bracelet, I had to find something to go on it because I started fixing it over the holiday break. So this is what it looks like, I think, but it didn't have a clasp or anything on it. Just both ends looked like this. So I put a large brass lobster clasp on it, and then found a ring to attach, but I had not attached the ring yet. So I'm about to do that right now. And then I'll offer this one up for sale after I make this little repair on it. And it may look nothing like what it did originally by the time I get done. Oh, wait a minute, that's not, that ring is not going to open. So I need to find a ring that will open. I'll be right back. This one is a little darker than the rest of the bracelet, but I think it will serve the purpose. See, I may have not opened it wide enough. Yeah, I need to open that a little bit more. Let's see what this gets me. Oh, perfect. Okay. There we go. And I may be able to polish that up, or I can polish it up. I don't know if it'll change the color at all. I don't know what this would have looked like originally. Maybe a fold over clasp is what was right there originally. But let's see what that looks like on, and see if anybody can even be able to close it. I'm trying to do it one-handed here to see if anyone who buys it would be able to close it. Okay, yeah, I did that. But that's what it looks like on as it is now. And here's what the clasp side looks like. And it's a pretty brass, like an antiqued brass. Yeah, really like it. Probably not at all what it looked like in its first life, but that's what it looks like now. Let me close it back up and then I'll put it on the mandrel and give you a size and a price. This is about a 7.5. That's what I would call that. And that's number, oh my goodness, 12. And we'll say this one for, let's do that one for $4. Okay, 13. Okay, here is sort of, well, it is an upcycle, but not much crafting, I don't think. This is a potato pearl, I guess, but it's sort of conjoined twin pearls. The color is sort of like a blush, very, very light blush. And they are genuine pearls, or it is a genuine pearl. And this is a Chico's necklace that has lost its original pendant, which would have hung right here on this thing. And let's see, where's the, there it is. Here's the Chico's tag. And it's this gorgeous matte silver tone wheat chain. Has sort of a pewter look, really, not a silver tone. There's no tone loss on it at all. And then I got this little bail and figured I might try to do something. Yeah, I'll hang the pearls from this bail. Take off of this old bail, which appears a little bit broken. Whatever used to be on it is not there anymore. And honestly, let's see, I'm going to have a really, oh well, I thought I would have a hard time opening that. It just opened right up. I don't know, maybe some other use will become apparent that I can use that for. But meanwhile, I have this little bail here, and I'll have to maybe, yeah, I'm going to have to take the extender off right here so that I can put the bail onto the chain. Because the opening on the bail is too wide to fit over, or too narrow, excuse me, to fit over this extender chain. So there we go. And then I'll put the extender right back on. And it's the same on both sides for that bail and for the extender chain, so I don't really have to be very aware of which direction it's facing. Okay, now to open up the ring at the, or the loop at the top of the pearl. Here we go. Is that the right end? There's the right end. So I opened that up, and then I'm going to hang it through this tiny little loop right here. Well, I'll have to open it a little bit wider. Yep, wrong one. There we go. And then closing it right back up. And there. And I picked this particular bail just because it has this sort of curly Q design. I thought that looked really nice with the texture of the wheat chain. But there's how all that looks together. And what I did is wire. This was just a loose little double pearl. And I wired it with just some silver tone, a silver tone head pin. And then made the loop at the top. And then you saw me hang it onto the bail just now, and then we attached the bail to, or strung the bail onto the necklace. So let's clasp it, and let me give you some measurements on that. The drop is about 7 3/4, and a very generous 4-inch extender that gives you another 2 inches of drop. And then one last thing I have to do here is take off this little Chico's tag, because this is a Chico's chain, but this necklace in its current life is not a Chico's design. So there we go. I don't want to falsely say that this is a Chico's design. So that's why I removed that tag. Okay, there we go. It didn't want to come up. And here's the effect when you wear it. I really like that design. And again, the texture, the little curly cues on the bail with the texture of the necklace. Now the bail itself is more of a shiny silver tone, but I don't think that really makes any difference. I think it still looks really nice together. Just elegant and understated. Very, very pretty. That one is going to be number 13. And this one's going to be $10. This is a genuine double pearl. And then Chico's, a nice thick Chico's wheat chain, very substantial chain. Love, love, love this one. And I don't know why I have this tiny bag. I'm going to get another bag. Okay, number 13, $10. There we go. Okay. Number 14 here is something that I upcycled. This came from a J. Crew necklace that I got a long time ago in a craft lot. This little bit right here. And it didn't even look like that on the J. Crew necklace. It looked different. These little pieces, these two and this, came from different parts on that necklace. But I put them all together, and then this chain came from one of those body bra things. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. It kind of fits all over your whole torso, but it's all made out of chains. So I got one of those in a fun box, I think, and I totally disassembled it and then just harvested all the chain for other projects. So, and that's what we have here, is this necklace. So let me give you some measurements on that. I like just the simplicity of this one. I really, really like. It hangs. Let's see, I've got to clasp it and measure it outside the light box here. Now, I actually can measure that inside the light box. But it hangs around your collarbone, I guess. Not really high, but not really low either. It's a 9-inch drop and not very much of an extender, about 1.5 inches on the extender. And here we go. It's these bright, very sparkly teardrop rhinestones, and then these two other just tan beige acrylic rhinestones in that nice substantial J. Crew setting that we're all familiar with. And let me give you one more look at the basic effect when you're wearing it. That's what that looks like. Very simple, very pretty and elegant and dainty. Number 14. And that one is going to be $8. Remember, anything you're interested in purchasing here, just contact me, skeeterjonesthings@gmail.com, and put the number of the item and the price in the subject line, and then I'll reply with a thumbs up if you are the first to request the item, or a thumbs down if someone requested it ahead of you. But keep in mind, if someone did request it ahead of you, I'll also reply with your place in the on the wait list. So if the person ahead of you, for whatever reason, can't complete the sale, then I'll contact you and let you know, and then it will be your turn to have a shot at it. Or it will be yours to claim if you want it at that point. But that is all, and let's move right on to number 15. This is a piece that I hand knotted, hand strung. You can see the knots there between all of these gorgeous gemstones. And I guess I do need to test these so you'll know what they are. But these are gemstones that I actually bought to make this project with. These were not ones that were scavenged off of other pieces. This is not an upcycle. I bought all of these gemstones just so I could make this hand knotted piece. This is recycled chain right here from an older piece that I've been using. This might be the last little bits of that chain. I've used it on a lot of different projects. And then the very top part of it right here, and that's recycled as well. This is a new, I think, yeah, that's a new lobster clasp on it though. But let me go grab the gem eye so I can show you what all these gorgeous gemstones are. Okay, so here's what we have. I'll just, I'm not going to go through every single stone on here because a lot of them are repeats. Here we go, this gorgeous green one goes to garnet tourmaline iolite. This is sort of like an olive green right here, yellowish. And a lot of stones go to that range on the gem testers. Let's see, this kind of reddish one goes a little higher in that range. Sort of touches the tanzanite aquamarine. I learned from Marilyn at Shady NY. It touches chrysoprase emerald also. I learned from Marilyn at Shady NY that the place where it actually lands in the range is an indicator. So it's not just that it lands in that range, it's where it lands in that range. And this is this other kind of lighter green one. This is probably going to be amethyst, I would think. Yeah, there we go, quartz citrine amethyst right here. This is a pretty slate blue, greenish, grayish. I'll keep sliding around. There we go. That also goes to the garnet tourmaline iolite. And I don't think we've had one of this yet. This orangey. Let's see, I'm sliding off the stone with it. There we go. So a lot of them are going to that range. Let's see, I haven't tested this yellow one yet. Okay. I think that's a good sampling of everything we have here. That's probably a quartz here, this sort of light blue one. So there we go. All of these gorgeous, gorgeous, and this is really, really heavy. And I did this during a football game. My husband was watching. I sat down next to him, and while he watched the game, I was knotting and stringing these gorgeous gemstones. And then I put the ends of it on these two little rings and then hung those rings onto this gold tone chain. And it just has a nice drape. When there's a difference when you string, when you just run the thread straight through a bunch of beads or a bunch of stones that are drilled like these are. You can run it straight through and make a necklace that way, of course, and lots of gorgeous designs are made that way. When it's hand knotted, it has this sort of drape and flow that it can't have when they're strung right next to each other, because they're tightly next to each other and it doesn't allow for that movement. So that's what I like about hand knotting, is it allows the necklace to be a little more fluid in how it lays and moves, and it just feels so nice. So here are all these gorgeous colors, and all of these are genuine gemstones that were purchased just for making this project. I was very, very pleased with how it turned out. It is a drop of 13 inches, and you can shorten it by about a half inch or so if you clasp it instead of at the end right here, clasp it through this little ring right here. So you can shorten it by about a half inch or so if you do that. But there it is. It's really, really heavy. Well, not really, really, but it has some weight to it. A nice amount of weight. This gold tone chain is a little bit lightweight. It's definitely strong enough to hold the necklace. There's no problem with the integrity there. But it is a lighter gold tone chain. And then here's where I knotted each end and attached it to the rings. And here's some examples of the knotting in between each stone. And there it is. I'm really, really happy with this piece. I was very excited to see how that turned out. And that one is number 15. So we're at the halfway point now. And this one is going to be $20. Gorgeous, gorgeous gemstones and gold tone and hand knotting. And there we are. Okay, number 16 is this sort of amber colored glass and silver tone. Has a vintage look to it. A little bit of light surface scratching, but no tone loss or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I think this is stainless steel now that I'm looking at it. It kind of has that look to it. And if it is stainless steel, that means it won't tarnish and there won't ever be any tone loss. It's a layered necklace. Let's give you the overall effect. Like that. Basically. And it's these honey amber colors on these glass beads. Very pretty. Some brass wire there. You know what? Actually down here it looks brass, and then up here it looks silvery. So you know what? There is tone loss. It has a brass tone, but it looks very ombre. And possibly could even look intentional. I can't say whether it is or not, but it definitely, an argument could be made. Yeah, because it sort of blends very nicely from the silvery color down to where it looks more brass toned at the end. So I actually think it looks really nice and adds to the vintage appeal of this necklace, in my opinion. The drop length on this, the shortest layer is, and this is all without the extender, the shortest layer is a drop of 7.5 inches, and the longest is a drop of about 9.5 inches. And then you have a 3-inch extender. And that's very, very pretty. Where's that third layer? Okay, there we go. I was holding it wrong. So the shortest layer just has these bicones. The middle layer is just alternating bead shapes. And then the longest layer is just the chain with these beads dangling from it. You have this faceted teardrop shaped, these disc shaped ones, and then these little oval ones. That was very, very pretty. That is number 16. And that one is going to be, let's see, I'll do it. I'm going to do that one for $4. I was going to say $6, but since that is tone loss, even though it looks nice, it's tone loss nonetheless. So that was gorgeous. I think that's a steal for that one. Number 16 for $4. $17 is a pair of earrings that I upcycled. These came from, these little glass faceted beads came from a necklace that had broken. some Sharpie ink has already gotten on me now. And I just wired them together, and then, there we go. Wired them together and attached them to these earring hooks. Just very, very simple. They are a length of about 1 1/4 inch. And here comes Earlene. To show you what they look like. They're very simple, very elegant. There we go. I'm trying to get it to lay as flat as I can so you can see how low that would hang. But those are really nice. Just very simple. A little bit of sparkle. And those are number 17, is that what I said? And those are just $3. Super classy, super pretty, just simple and feminine. Okay, number 18. Okay, here's another one. I'd gotten this, the last time I got an order from Fire Mountain Gems, this came in a little gift with purchase bag. It's a gorgeous piece of coral that was already pre-drilled. So I made this sort of odd-shaped triangular ring to go in it, and then hung it on some chain that I had in my stash. And for anybody that just likes red coral, especially natural-looking pieces, here's one for you. And this is basically the effect when you're wearing it. It's sort of longer, and the length is the length. There's not an extender. So the length is a drop of about 11.5 inches, and the coral is about 1.5 inch. Just very, very simple piece of red coral. And there we are. Oh, and here's the chain. The chain, I think, is new. I don't think this chain had ever been used on anything. Very shiny. No scratching, no tone loss. That's number 18. And that one is $5. Okay, number 19. Okay, we're going to test some sterling right here. This is genuine pearls, sort of a very faint, sort of champagne color to those. And there's a 925 marker. This is a lariat looking chain, but it's not actually a lariat. This does not slide up and down. This little bead right here doesn't. But look at that design on it. I don't know if it's going to show very well. Yeah, you can see it a little bit with the little interlocking circles. It's just a really pretty design. And then these hang, one is longer than the other, sort of asymmetrically. And these are genuine pearls. But here's the 925 stamp right here. So we're going to make sure that's an accurate stamp. And we're going to make sure that it applies to everything on the necklace. So it's relative to the clasp. So we're going to, of course, make sure it's accurate right there. The scratch looks a little suspect. Yeah, so let's try the chain. Also drop some acid on these just to see what it says. And there's the chain, very coppery looking. And then the little bead. Okay, this is not going to be positive. I'm just testing it just to see what the reaction is. So the clasp and the little bead had a tiny little flash of blue before it faded away, which means there is some amount of silver in them, but not enough to call it 925. So this is not an accurate, stamp right there, but it is a pretty chain. That snake chain, a box chain, that's a box chain. And it does look new. I don't see any wear on it, but unless this is stainless, there will eventually be wear because that 925 stamp is not accurate. The pearls here are, well, you know what? Let me do a closer check on those. They look genuine. Okay, yeah, I had to look closer when I was rubbing those together. They are genuine because you can see a little bit right there where it rubs off, but then it polishes up when you touch it. Those are genuine. So the pearls are genuine. The 925 mark is a faker, but it's still a very pretty, very, very pretty necklace. It's an 8.5 inch drop down to the bead right here. And then from the bead to the bottom of the longest pearl, it's about 2 inches, just under 2 inches. So a nice pearl necklace. Number 19. And we'll just do that one for $5 just for those pearls. Actually, you know what? Let's make that one $4. It's a really pretty one. Nice to wear to work. If you work in an office environment or something like that. Here's something else to test. This will be number 20. We'll have some crafting to come up again, I think, after, see this one and then one more. Okay, these earrings I may have shown before. I've had them for a while. These are a thrift pickup from a long time ago. And they have this sort of Brighton-esque, sort of swirly design on them. These aren't Brighton, though. But I think I saw, when I got them, a 925 mark somewhere. I don't see one now. Maybe they didn't have a mark, but I bought them so I could test. I don't know. I know I've had these for a really long time. Let's see. It's all molded together. Let's see. Well, no, the wire is separate. So let's do a separate scratch on the wire. And those scratches actually look really good. Taking a closer look again, and I still don't see a 925 mark anywhere on that. But these scratches look like they may be positive. And there they are, yeah. So these cute little sterling earrings. They're about an inch long. And there's the design, just all sterling. Very pretty. Let's see what they look like on Earlene. Here we go. Those are gorgeous. Okay. I was kind of mesmerized looking at them. Okay, so the gorgeous little sterling earrings right here. Number 20. And they are going to be $9 for those cute little earrings. Okay, 21. This is, I think, carnelian and turquoise. And this is the Native American squash blossom design. It's dimensional. I love this because it's got some artistry to it. I don't know whether this actually is Native American, but it does have that design. It does have that look. But it is not marked. As a matter of fact, I'm looking and not even seeing a 925 mark, but I believe I've tested this before. I may have even shown this one before. There we go, and there's the positive sterling test right there. This is number 21. And we're going to do that one for $10. That is possibly Native American. I can't say for sure. But it's gorgeous. Let's see, the size is about a 6 1/4. That's how it looks on. Let's see. Here we go. I love the dimensional look on that and the setting. Look at those prongs all the way around the settings. And then the dimension and height with that leaf. Beautiful. Okay, 21, $10. Okay. I bought some little things. So, let's see, I bought these little things because I was buying craft supplies. I was buying purse charm hooks, and then saw these other little doodads hanging nearby and couldn't resist, so I thought I would grab them and make some more purse charms. So this one is not an upcycle. Everything on this one is new. And let's see, I think I'm going to need another ring. I already put one in my little basket of supplies right here. It looks like I forgot to do that. So I'm going to go grab another ring and I'll be right back. Okay, here's what I found. And this is going to actually be able to be another convertible thing, I think, because this is a pendant, actually. But I'm thinking I have this little magnetic little, I'm going to see how that works. For going on here. And that ring is not large enough. So I still will need another ring, even if I do this. So I'm going to put this one aside for right now. And let's move on to one that'll be a little simpler. This one is an upcycle. This was a single earring that I got from a craft lot. Let me take the hook off of it. And then we'll just hang it on with this little ring right here. Hang it onto the clasp, and it will be a purse charm. Actually, I may not have even needed that ring. You know what? I didn't need it. So put that back, and then I'll just open up this ring. There we go. And close the ring back. So new clasp, but upcycled earring right there. And the overall length on it is 3.5 inches. And that one is going to be 22. And we'll just do that one for $6 because that was a really simple one. Okay. Here's another one that I had to buy a little thing because it jumped out at me again while I was there buying my charm clasp, my purse charm clasp. So the gold tones are not going to match exactly. This is a little more rosy. This one's a little more yellow. But look at it. It's this gorgeous, look how thick, this gorgeous puffy heart. I thought it was a locket when I first saw it hanging on the shelf, but it's just a puffy heart with a little bow at the top. And I thought, what a cute purse charm that is going to be. So I've got to take this little ring off because, yeah, I don't need that one. And then I'm just going to open up this one that comes on the clasp and hang the little bow directly on it. Now this one is simple, but it's not just upcycled from stuff I had laying around. I bought all of these elements, so the final price will actually have to be kind of cooked into that, so I'll at least break even. There we go. Look how cute. And then if you don't want the key ring on the back, you can take that off. Personally, I would probably take it off if it were me, just because I wouldn't want my keys hanging down the back and scratching up the heart. But that will be up to the buyer if they want to remove that. But how cute. Just in time for Valentine's. That's about 3.5 inches, and it's number 23. And that one is going to be $10. There we go. Okay, now that one has maybe, if I can get these things off this little card here. They didn't all come together, but you know, these can be little earrings, I think. Okay, so how we accomplish that is going to be pretty simple. There we go. And then close the hooks. And the tones are not going to be precisely the same. It's different manufacturers have their different recipes for all the different tones. And so there's no way that everything's going to always be, among all your supplies, that everything's going to always be the exact same color. Here we go. That one threaded through and then closed. And these little hearts are new also. Oh, I broke that hook. Let's see if this one does better. There we go. So there those are. The same basic design as that purse charm, but so cute. And let's see, about 1.5 inches long. Let's see how they look on Earlene. Oh, look at that. How cute. How cute. Okay. So those are also these little puffy hearts. Hanging down from these little bows. Very cute, just in time again for Valentine's. Let's see, number 24. And those are going to be, $6. Okay. Now I've got to decide what I'm going to do here. How am I going to hang this wide bail onto? I could hang it with this ring, but this pretty little magnetic bail I found is too wide to fit through that ring. And I'm not sure if I have a silver tone ring that big. Let me go check. Okay, I didn't find anything. So this one is going to be a work in progress. I'm going to have to find, I mean, actually I could just hang it here off the key ring, but to me that just doesn't look intentional and planned. It just looks kind of slapped together. So let me get back to you on this one. And meanwhile, I do have some more purse charms, featuring, of course, more hearts that I bought new because I was buying, oddly, I'm buying clasps to make purse charms out of things I already have, but then while I'm standing there, I'm buying other things to hang on those charm clasps. So then I end up having to buy more charm clasps to accommodate all the projects I have in mind. And I guess that's a condition that's common to crafters, is everything you see, you just start getting ideas as soon as you see it, and you have more ideas than you do time and resources for all of those projects or all those ideas. But these are a little more kind of southwestern looking. So these are some little leather cords with, can't tell if that's faux or actual leather. Might be faux leather, but with these little tiny conchos and I think faux stones. No, actually, those are real stones. Yeah, those are cool. Those are actual little stones, either howlite or turquoise. And I have two of those. And then I have this little howlite heart, or big howlite heart. And then this smaller one, this sort of, again, just southwestern native looking design painted on it. A silver tone setting. And this is just a heart-shaped stone that's been drilled with a loop at the top. So what we're doing here is, let's see, what was the design I had laid out? Okay, that was the design for this one. So the big heart, I'm just going to open up the ring right here. And I'm going to hang the heart right here on the, well, this way on the back. And then the loop actually I'm going to have to take, I noticed that at the same time I was hanging that on there, I'm going to have to take this loop off or the cord will be hanging in the wrong direction. So let me, now that I've found the end of that, let me take this one off. And so this is the idea, is that it hangs right in front of the heart like that. I gotta put the key ring back on there, make sure it hangs on the back. And then the clasp, making sure the little thumb lever goes to the right. And that's a bunch of stuff on this little ring, but I believe it's going to all work out. If I can keep my pliers on it, it'll all work out. There we go. It wasn't wanting to cooperate, but it finally did. And I got a nice close on that. And let's see the final effect. Yes, that's exactly how I envisioned that one. Love how that looks. And you got your key ring hanging right there on the back. But there's the heart with the little leather or faux leather cords hanging in the front and the little conchos. A nice little southwestern look to that one. That's gorgeous. That's exactly how I envisioned that one when I was standing there in the aisle at the craft store. And a lot of times, really, things don't turn out that way. Okay, this one is going to be $10. And it's so, so pretty. So a lot of times I get my idea, and then by the time I get home, you know, it turns out being, you know, like this. Like, okay, I had this great idea, and I can't execute it. So I'm having to come up with a plan B on that one. So let's put this in here so that the cord stays nice and straight and doesn't curl. There we go. Number 25 for $10. And 26 is going to be very similar, but I don't want it to hang right in front, obviously, because this heart's a lot smaller and it would hide the little heart. So I'm going to add the ring, maybe, that I took off the last one. Let's see which way this is going to orient. With that little flower on it. Yeah, I'm going to need this ring to go on there. And I'm just going to want it to hang beside it, I think. The little cord with the conchos on it. Okay, closing up this ring now. There we go with the little heart. Nice little western look. And then let's see. Again, let's see, I don't want it to hang sideways, so I am going to have to add another ring. Let's see how this is going to work. Or you know what I'm going to do? That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Not exactly the way my mind's eye played this out, but a little bit of shifting on the fly here. So I'm going to take this ring off again so this little cord doesn't hang sideways. You want it to hang facing this way and not facing, that way. So every time you add or take off a link, it changes the way whatever you're hanging is going to face. Okay. Oh, well, and listening to myself just now, if I add a link here, then this heart might end up hanging the wrong way. All right, on the fly here. Here we go. Okay, that's hanging that way. Okay, I'll need one more ring, actually, because now it's flipped over and will be hanging sideways. The heart will be hanging this way. And because it was hanging flat with the one ring, so if I add another ring, it'll hang that way. So I need to go get one more ring. I'll be right back. Okay, I got a few rings here so that I won't have to pause you again. should something else come up. So here we go. I'm thinking I want the heart to hang up higher. So I'm going to go back to having just one ring holding the heart on there. So there are some things to keep in mind when you're doing this, when you're crafting, things like, you know, how many rings you put on there, because it's going to face a different direction with every ring, and that kind of stuff. A lot to keep in mind. Okay, so with one ring, it would be laying this way. So if I put on 2 rings, it'll be laying that way. So here's 1 and here's 2. And I want it to come more from behind the heart, so it won't be hanging in front of it. There we go. Got a good close on the ring now. And looks like that ring needs to be closed up a little bit better. There's a little gap in that close right there. There, that's better. Okay, now here's the ring. If I can find it, right there it is. The ring that I'm going to put the cord on. And actually, that's why part of why I brought extra rings, in case I wanted it to go to hang a little bit longer. Let's see. As it is, it'll be about like this. I think that's where I'm going to keep it. To make it go on again, I would need to add 2 more rings, which would make it hang around that. But right now it'd be like that. And then you have to keep in mind the overall length of the whole thing. I think I'm just going to keep it where it is. So I'm going to open up that bottommost ring. Right there. And then making sure I have this going on facing the right way, because I don't want to get all done, you know, and then it's backwards. That'd be even worse than hanging sideways. Okay. Here we go. So a lot went into that one. Okay. We're done with it now. And that's what we have. A little Western look. And let's get some stats on it. Top to bottom, about 5.5 inches. And you can hang your keys on that. Wait a minute, is that hanging the right way? Yeah, it is. And then you have the key ring where you can hang your keys. And this pretty little sort of southwestern, sort of tribal looking heart with the flower at the top. And then you have stones right there, and leather or faux leather, and silver tone beads on the little conchos. And there it is. It took some work, but it's done. And that's going to be 26. And that's going to be $10. And again, keeping that along the bottom so it doesn't curl. There we go. And now I have an idea with this. I've abandoned the thought of making that into a purse charm, and it's going to be a really pretty necklace. A nice, chunky necklace, two-toned, well, tri-toned really, because you've got the black in the background with this raised little floral and scroll design in silver tone, and then this hammered gold tone heart with the rope halo around it, and then the big bail at the top, and it's all very nice and chunky looking. I have some more of this chain left over from that big body bra thing that I disassembled. So I'm going to put that all together, and I think maybe the clasp I'm going to put on this might accommodate for this heart to come off if you want to actually hang it on something else. Maybe whoever buys it will have a better idea than I could find for hanging it on a purse charm or something else. And then they'll be able to slide it off this chain and do that, and then slide it back on the chain whenever they want. So I'm going to hang this clasp on here. And then I'm going to give you all the stats on it. Okay, there we go. There's the clasp facing the direction I want it to face. Good. And then on this end, I'm going to attach a ring to put the clasp on. And there it is. Sort of bent that one out of shape. Let's see if I can get it back the way it's supposed to go. There. I was able to get that straightened up. And so now I clasp it. Wait a minute, I clasped it to the wrong ring after all that work. So let me take it back off and put it in the right place. It was supposed to hang around this little tiny ring, but instead it's beside the little tiny ring. Okay. Now I think this has it. Let's see if I got that closed before I dropped it. And I did. Nicely closed. Okay. Now it's hung in the right place. And it is clasped. Here is what it looks like. Love that. Love this chunky chain with this chunky looking heart. And the measurements on it are, it's a 9-inch drop. Our heart is 2 inches long and about 1.5 inches across. And this one, I bought this new, and I want to at least break even. So let's see, this is number 27, and this one is going to be, oh gosh, I don't want to ask too much, but I don't want to lose anything on that either. Let's make that $8. Okay, and actually let me test that in case somebody has an idea of wanting to hang it on something else. Yeah, you'll be able to slide that off. Slide the pendant off if you want to hang the pendant on something else. Okay, so there we go. 27 for $8. Okay, and we're going to have to leave that where it is now. So we didn't have 30 items this time, but hopefully I'll be able to have some more items for you this week. Thank you so much for the time that you spend watching my videos. And if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with a friend who you think might also enjoy it. And leave me a comment. And I'll see you in the next video, hopefully again this week. Bye.